Welcome back. Russia has joined the fight, helping Iran target Americans. The War Secretary is talking about it.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in danger. We're putting the other guys in danger. That's our job. So we're not concerned about that. We mitigate it as we need to. Our commanders factor all of this, but the only ones that need to be worried right now are Iranians that think they're going to live.
And the biggest news bulletin of the morning, Iran confirmed in an interview that Russia is helping them.
Are you receiving any help from Russia?
Well, we have a strategic partnership with Russia.
So that's a yes?
And, well, a military cooperation between Iran and Russia is not something new. It's not a secret. It has been in the past, and it's still there and will continue in the future.
That's not good. Senator Mike Rounds joins us now. Senator, what should the president do?
Well, first of all, the president is doing what he's supposed to be doing right now. He took the right steps when he decided that this military action was necessary and that this was the right time. But second of all, with regard to Russia, look, they're not doing anything that we don't know about. And the secretary was correct. It's the Iranians that should be worried about this. Our intel is very good. These guys can't do anything without us knowing what's going on. And this is not something new. It's not something that's surprising to anybody that's been following it. One thing that could happen right now, we would love to have approval by the White House for the sanctions bill. I think we've got almost 90 co-sponsors in the United States Senate. I'm one of the co-sponsors. Senator Lindsey Graham has been preparing it now for literally months. We would love at this point to have the president just walk on in and just say, look, guys, we've had enough patience with Russia. Let's put the sanctions bill on them right now. That would send an additional message to the Russians that they're not going to get away with this stuff.
And we'll see. Maybe that happens this week. Something else. The Ayatollah and his crew getting wiped out got all the attention on the first day of Epic Fury. But something terrible happened that day. According to the Wall Street Journal, this is a quote, U.S. military investigators think American forces likely were responsible for a strike that killed dozens of children at a girls' elementary school in Iran. The investigation hasn't reached a final conclusion, the official said. We did hear from President Trump and Pete Hegseth last night about this.
Certainly investigating. Still investigating. But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Senator Rounds, what are you hearing about this?
What we know is that there was a loss of life there. It was children. We don't know what happened. We'll wait and see what the investigators come up with. But what I can tell you is America, the United States, does not target women and children. We simply don't do it. Iranians do. They've been the terrorist state literally for 40-some years. They have no fear about doing it. We don't do that, at least not on purpose. The one question I have on this is where was it located compared to any military operations that might have been involved? Did the Iranians decide that they were going to put one of their military bases right next to school? Perhaps an attempt to not have it be targeted? I mean, it's a possibility. We don't know. What I do know is the Iranians would have no fear of taking out children and women any place in the world. They are responsible for thousands of deaths. We're not. And we're going to do our best always to focus on military targets. The president is correct when he talks about what our goals are and so forth. And once again, America doesn't go after women and children.
And Senator Rounds, I want to make a turn here just before we let you go. We have to ask you about Kristi Noem. She is from your state. She used to be your governor. There is talk that she might file for a Senate campaign. She has till March 31st. Is she going to primary you?
The only issue that I've got with primaries right now, and it's the primary concern I've got, and that is Democrats in the United States Senate that are not doing anything about the Department of Homeland Security. As long as I continue to do my job and we focus on what's important to the people of South Dakota, everything else falls into place. In the meanwhile, Mark Wayne is going to do a great job. I think he will be confirmed very, very quickly. And I think he'll have strong support from Republicans and Democrats. He'll do a very good job for the president and for the country.
All right. We are going to keep an eye on this. We will be tracking until March 31st. We'll see what Kristi Noem does. Thank you very much, Senator Noem.
Have a good one.
Senator Rounds.
You bet. Bye-bye.
No, Senator Noem. She didn't. There was no primary yet. Senator Rounds. Thanks.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.